Okay, first I'm say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim Rashad, Bashim Gakadah. With the ones that plus the teacher, great middle of Miller in the shoot, and I say, show one to the whole look of Israel. I'm gonna center this around this whole collapse of that Silicon Valley Bank, and things like this serve to let all you people know that America is not indestructible. It's not impenetrable. Just like all of these past empires and kingdoms, how they came and they went, they had their rise and their fall. America is the same. You know, it may be the most wicked, it may be a bigger empire and more powerful empire than those that came before it, but it's still an empire, a mortal empire nonetheless. And it's still subject to all the weaknesses that mortals are subject to. One of those things being decay. And things are slowly eroding in and under America. One of those things being the morale of the people. Another one of those things being the financial system. You know, with how Esau established his financial system, it's something that it's not sustainable. It's something, you have tons of videos on it. It's something that can't continue to exist and to thrive. Job 14:5, saying his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And the Lord has a certain day, a certain date, a certain amount of time for America to be in existence and for America to rule and to thrive. Once again, just like these past empires, these past kingdoms, the citizens in all these other rulerships, they all thought the same thing you Americans think. The citizens of Babylon, Medo-Persia, of Greece, they all thought that, hey, our kingdom is going to continue to live and to thrive forever. But look at where they are. It's the same place where you Americans are about to be, and the same place where your empire is about to be, in the dust, in history. There's a scripture that refers to Babylon as a land of unwalled what was the other one? It says unwalled villages, and there's another one. I shall see no widowhood, something like that. But pretty much, it goes into the mind state of the citizens of America, how they think that they're going to how nothing can touch this place. And 2008, 9/11 showed you people that. I mean, once again, maybe powerful, but that doesn't mean it's impenetrable. The kingdom of heaven is the only kingdom on the earth that's going to last forever, because the Lord intended for righteousness to be immortal, not wickedness. That's why all these other past kingdoms had a limit, because the earth isn't meant to house a wicked ruler. You know, there's a right ruler and a wrong ruler. You know, and all you heathens, none of you, and hell, take a look at Esau's an example is his system, right? The scriptures go into how what I think it's, let me see, Proverbs 29 maybe, how righteous rulers and wicked rulers think. Verse 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear through, the people mourn. Verse 7, the righteous consider the cause, let me see, of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Verse 14, the king that faithfully judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. But pretty much no matter how you slice it, one way or another, someone who's wicked, who's in rulership, their their reign is going to come to an end, whether it be by the hands of their own people revolting, because Scripture talk about how the wicked regard not to know the cause of the poor. There's going to come a time where people have a limit to how much bullshit that they're going to be willing to take, and they're going to what? Revolt. You Americans have a higher limit because you have all these shiny toys and things to pacify you. But you still do have a limit to how much shit you could take from your leaders. In Michigan, Lansing, the capital, you had a couple of Edomites actually draw a plan with schematics and blueprints on how they wanted to capture, kidnap the governor. I think that governor is a correct term. The governor of Michigan. And you have smaller instances of people revolting against their leaders. I forgot. I think it was in Venezuela, a city in Southern America, where you had the citizens that were Jake drag one of their leaders, tie one of their leaders to a vehicle, and drag his ass throughout the streets. That's what happened when you have a wicked ruler. They don't pretty much like the scripture said, they don't give a fuck about anybody else but themselves, and that eventually backfires because the people have a limit to how much shit that they'll take. The people in America have a limit to how to let me see how I can say this to where it makes sense. To how much shit they can take regarding jobs. You have people that have to work 2 or 3 jobs to barely make it. And even then, they're still struggling and just barely making it. On price rises on food, on all these other things that people need and want. But once again, the Lord is showing you people that America is it's just, it's a nation, immortal nation built by mortal men who all have their limits. Let me see. It says Wisdom Psalm 1:15. For righteousness is immortal. And this is Ecclesiastes. Should be 3:1. To everything there is a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Time to weep and the time to laugh, time to mourn and the time to dance, time to cast away stones and time to gather stones together, time to embrace and time to refrain from embracing, time to get, time to lose, time to keep, time to cast away, time to rend and time to sow, a time to keep silence and time to speak, time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. But scripture, brief passage, self-explanatory, going to how everything has a specific time and a specific season. You know, the age of evil, the age of Esau is almost up. You know, all you heathen, you've all had your chance to rule, and look at the result of your look at the fruits of your labor. The people are miserable. You got pollution everywhere. In the short time that Esau has actually been in power, he's been wreaking havoc and hell upon the people and upon the planet itself, and upon his own people as well. You have a lot of Edomites that are angry at what the leaders of their own people are doing. Now it's going to be time for our people to rule, and we're going to do it the correct way. Now, we're the rightful rulers of this planet anyway. You know, the time of our punishment is going to be over, and the time for our rule, is fast approaching. But that was simple. It's really simple, to the point. But like I said, I did want to turn this around like that collapse of that bank. You look up articles, whatnot. There are people outside that bank, trying to get their money out. Well, banks only carry a certain amount of cash anyway. You have a lot of people put all their money into these banks, and then when the shit collapses, they can't get their shit back. And that's just an example that. What was that? I think he had some chick. This news reporter said that was the largest bank collapse in the history of the U.S. A lot of these people, they don't think that something like that could happen. They didn't think that something like that could happen. They didn't think like something like the pandemic, like America shutting down, could happen. Like certain shortages on supplies, they didn't think all of that could happen. The Lord is constantly throwing jabs out there and letting you people know that this isn't the end all be all. This place isn't immortal. It's not indestructible. You know, you have people actually doing certain things. You got to have people running these certain plants to keep your power sources on and all these things running. This shit isn't doing it by itself. There are people doing this shit, and people do make mistakes with all this shit. And certain shit does have a limit. As your financial analysts who have been in certain financial institutions, whatnot, they'll tell you that the way in which America conducts its whole money system, it's not sustainable, and it has a limit to how far America can go with it. So what happens then when America reaches that limit, such as heaping more debt unto itself to print more money? There's a limit to how much these other countries are going to take. Well, hope is edifying. Say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Shema Shah, by Shekah Kadash, the bonus of the apostle, the teacher, great message, of the shoe, Shalom to the hope, like the wisdom, instruction, Babylon, great America.